Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4. Well, it's episode 4. Well, technically it's the 4th week, anyways. Week in review. I just want to say thank you for everybody who's given me feedback on the past couple of shows. I am working on taking them into consideration. Some of them, most of them won't be put into effect right away, but some of them will be most likely implemented later on down the season. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start episode 4 of Week in Review. Hello and welcome back. We got quite a bit of news. It's been a little slow, but not quite slow as far as when it comes to the technology news this week. Oh, well, yeah. First up, I just want to go ahead and talk about Microsoft. Microsoft announced Wednesday that select Android and iOS users can now try out its new Bing and Edge mobile apps. Users can preview voice search along with a fresh interface and multiple display options. Additionally, yes, that's right. Additionally, its artificial intelligence powered Bing chat feature is available to try out on Skype. The new version is open to global users, and those with access can add Bing to group chats on Skype and ping the chatbot to answer questions within the conversation. The very same chatbot that Microsoft had added into the Bing searches is available on Skype. Previewers using the Bing app on Android or iOS can tap into the icon to initiate a chat or perform tasks like, hey, write an email or create a list. Voice searches is also available on the Bing app and the Edge app within the home page. I don't even have my little clicker today. I need my clicker. Uh-oh. Well, it seems we have some technical difficulties, folks. I'm gonna be right back. My screen went black. And we're live. And make a little adjustment to my presenter here. Anyways, Microsoft said that the previewers may experience some connectivity issue with the low bandwidth and that it's working on a fix. The company will continue to make refinements to its Bing AI tech during the testing phase. So if you run into little issues, don't worry, they're working on it. Nothing's perfect when it first rolled out. If it was, well, let's be honest, we'd be living like the Jetsons right now. Microsoft also is already reversing some of its limit it put on the Bing's AI chat tool. They were quick to remove the limits. Bing's AI chat to prevent disturbing. Well, they weren't quick to remove it. They were quick to limit it. Sorry. They were quick to limit the Bing AI chat to prevent let's say less than satisfactory answers, as you probably learned from the last news. The Bing chat bot was trying to tell somebody to get divorced in their marriage. But it's changing its course just days later. The company now said that it will restore longer chats. It's starting to expand the chat to 6 turns per session. Initially it was 5, now it's at 6. And 60 chats per day, which originally it was 50. The daily cap will eventually move up to 100 chats. They haven't given us the estimated time when that would happen yet. The regular searches will no longer count towards that total. So if you try to look for something in Bing, you can still use the chat bot more frequently. Microsoft is also addressing concerns that Bing AI might be a little too wordy. Like, it may drag things down a little bit. So they're coming up with a test that will let you choose a tone that is either precise, that is shorter and a little more straight to the point, or creative longer, so you can have actual conversation, or somewhere in the middle, pretty much balanced. Microsoft previously said it didn't completely anticipate using or people using Bing's AI longer chat as an entertainment, which you have to admit the news about that was quite entertaining. The looser limits are an attempt to strike balance between feedbacks in favor of those chats, as the company says, with safeguard that prevents the bots from going in strange directions, such as giving feedback about how to live your life. Microsoft has been trying to convince Sony, on the other hand, that it will keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation if its Activision acquisition is approved. But the companies haven't come in an agreement in terms of any potential deals just quite yet. Sony's still thinking that Microsoft is trying to get a leverage on the Call of Duty system, because literally Call of Duty wasn't exclusive to the PlayStation lineup. They're still working out the deal. In between meetings and calls to allow the acquisition to take place, Microsoft took the time to announce it has struck a new deal with NVIDIA, which operates the GeForce Now cloud gaming services. So not only do they have Nintendo, but now they have NVIDIA. These moves have been made to try and win regulators on allowing the acquisition. The European Union regulators have set an April 11 deadline for the final decision on the Microsoft proposed acquisition of Activision. So now we're kind of waiting to see how the US, UK, and European Union will respond to the new deals. Microsoft has revealed its finalized a 10-year agreement to bring the latest version of Call of Duty to Nintendo, NVIDIA, and also to keep it on the PlayStation. Next up, Supreme Court. As you probably heard, Google, Twitter have been kind of in a battle with the Supreme Court regarding certain thing that's been going on the internet. So the concern is these cases could potentially change the way how the internet is seen in the future. The highest court in the U.S. heard an oral argument on Tuesday and Wednesday targeting big tech that could reshape online speech. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the Supreme Court heard an argument in the two high-profile cases involving Google's own YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook that could redefine how people use the internet and what they can post online. Both cases stem from a lawsuit that was brought by relatives of people who were killed in a separate terrorist attack. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, including U.S. President Joe Biden, have called for changes to what's known as Section 230 because of a growing concern that the tech companies aren't doing enough to safeguard user safety. The Supreme Court is examining the two cases involved online speech, Gonzalez versus Google, and Twitter versus Taamneh. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. Gonzalez versus Google, which was heard on Tuesday, centers right around whether Section 230 protects the online platform. A district court and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit ruled in Google's favor, dismissing Gonzalez's claim. On Wednesday, Twitter versus Taamneh, I might have gotten that name wrong, case, the Supreme Court examined whether people can sue online platform for aiding and abetting an act of terrorism. A district court dismissed the claim that in the lawsuit, but the U.S. Court of Appeal for the Ninth Circuit has reversed that decision. So, in my opinion, the platform is open source. There's only so much they can do, so they have to kind of like depend on the rest of us to tell them, hey, this is what's going on. Can you look into this? So, my guess is they're trying to see who's to blame. I mean, clearly, Facebook, Twitter, and Google did not have an intent of being out there for terrorists or anything, or any other like organization that could cause harm. So this case could determine who is held responsible. So far, Democrats and Republicans have both agreed that the reform to Section 230 are needed, but their motives strongly contradict each other. The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision on the case this year. The court is being asked to review other cases involving online speech. So it's gonna be a really interesting year to see how our online president will look. Next up, that's right, the Mobile World Conference. Everybody's favorite conference that comes out every year, on top of the E3 and like about a couple other things. Mobile World Conference, mobile tech fair to show off new iPhone, AI, and metaverse. The latest folding screen smartphones. First off with Samsung. Now we got a couple other companies that are coming up saying, "Hey, we are working on getting folding phones." That's right. We're gonna try to compete with Samsung. Immersive metaverse experiences, AI-powered chatbot avatars, and other eye-catching technologies are set to amaze the visitors at the annual MWC Wireless Trade Fair that kicks off Monday. So that would be February 27th. The 4-day show is held in a vast Barcelona conference center. It's the world's biggest and most influential meeting for the mobile tech industry. The range of technologies set to go on display illustrates how the show, also known as, well, as we all know, MWC, Mobile World, I called it conference, Mobile World Congress. You see, this is why I don't edit the videos, so you guys can sit there and laugh at me and say, "You got it wrong." Oh, nope, he got it right now. He caught himself. The Mobile World Congress has evolved with formed mobile phone standards in a showcase for new wireless tech. Organizers are expected to, I guess the attendance they're expecting is roughly about 80,000 visitors. There was a lot of buzz around the metaverse at last year's MWC and at other recent tech fairs, like the latest CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Expect even more at this event. More announcements. Probably seeing more of the satellite phones. Clearly more folding phones, advancement in graphics. Just everything that yeah. This world advances too fast anymore. It's hard for me to keep up. AI is one of the biggest things that has caught the tech world attention thanks to the dramatic advances in new tools like ChatGPT that can hold a conversation and generate readable text. Expect artificial intelligence to be deployed as an overused buzzword at MWC, said Ben Wood, principal analyst at CCS Insight. And here's the interesting part. Chinese technology giant Huawei will have a major presence at MWC despite being blacklisted by the Western government as part of a broader geopolitical battle between Washington, D.C. and Beijing over technology and security. Next up, Tesla has announced engineering headquarters in California, a new one nonetheless. The company's taken over an office space in Palo Alto, previously occupied by Hewlett Packard. Tesla used to be headquartered in California before moving to Austin, Texas in early 2021. Part of the purpose of them moving to Austin, Texas was regulation that California was imposing, but the other part was because of SpaceX. The Tesla was founded in San Carlos, California in 2003, and it was called the state home for most of its 20-year existence. October 2021, the company abruptly moved to its headquarters in recognition of a new Gigafactory that was under construction in the state. Tesla also had the Gigafactory in Nevada, Berlin, Buffalo, and Shanghai. Elon Musk said that the Fremont factory is expected to produce more than 600,000 vehicles this year. Tesla also said Wednesday that it will focus battery cell production in the United States to take advantage of federal incentives in the Inflation Reduction Act. California has invested in Tesla over the years in the form of tax breaks and other taxpayer-funded incentives. According to Newsom's office, California has invested more than $3.2 billion since 2009. That's a lot of money. But sometimes you got to invest some in order to get some. It's the rule of the business. Spotify has launched its new DJ offering personalized music with AI-powered commentary. Almost kind of like formerly known as Slacker Radio, except for it actually had an actual host that was pre-recorded. Almost sounds like Slacker Radio, but with an AI instead of an actual person. Ahead of Spotify coming Stream On event, the company today announced a new AI feature called DJ. Hey a minute, where's my... Hello? Oh, there we go. It was saying my mic wasn't working. My computer does not like me today. Like I said, the new AI feature called DJ to better personalize the music listening experience for its users. The feature is similar to having a radio DJ. Spotify DJ will deliver a curated selection of music alongside an AI-powered commentary about the tracks and artists you like. Using what Spotify said, the stunningly realistic voice. I kind of want to see how this compares with Live by Live Radio or Live Radio. I don't remember what it's called anymore. I got it right here. There we go. I just Live One. I want to see how it compares to Live One. The OpenAI powered feature is still in beta testing at the time of today's launch and is only available in English for Spotify premium users in the US and Canada for its time being. Samsung will let you create an AI copy of your voice to answer phone calls. That's right. You get those annoying pesky robocallers, you can have it copy your voice and answer the call and annoy them for you. You can say, I know you're looking for providing me my extended warranty, but I'll double that offer and give you 2 extended warranty. I'm pretty sure they'd hang up after that. The feature is only available in Korean and is part of Samsung Bixby text call service, which will let you answer a call by typing a text message instead. Samsung's new feature is not an AI clone that answers calls entirely on your behalf. Instead, Bixby Text Calls lets you type a text message to answer a phone call at times when it may not be appropriate to do so verbally. The feature was announced last year as part of Samsung One UI 5 update. Samsung said on Wednesday's press release that the AI-generated voice will eventually be compatible with other Samsung apps beyond the phone call, although it didn't say which one. That actually sounds pretty cool. Next up, one of the big payment portals, Stripe, expands tap to pay to Android apps. That's right. Initially it was on Apple, now it's on Android, turning near-field communication-enabled Android devices into a payment terminal. From today on, businesses that use Stripe terminals to take in-person payments will now be able to carry out tap-to-pay transaction on NFC-equipped Android devices too. So let's say I'm doing a business, which I do, and I use Stripe myself, and somebody decides, hey, can I pay you by card right now? Let's say they have one of the little tap pay. Nobody asked you. I'm not taking payment. Instead, they want to. They ask if they can do tap pay. Well, now before you had to have an Apple device. Now you can have an Android device. Open the Stripe app, accept mobile payment, and they can tap the back of your phone instead of having that little box that Square and PayPal gave at one point. It will support payment methods through Google Play, MasterCard, Visa, and American Express debit and credit cards. It will integrate with third-party merchant platforms that typically provide bridging through to different segments of the small business community. So, like, I do lawn on the weekend as a side gig, as well as snow removal during the winter months. And so I can literally use my Yardbook app to take payments. The Tap Pay is currently live in 6 markets: US, Canada, and UK, New Zealand, Australia, and Singapore. Stripe plans to expand that list, but it declined to give a timeline on when and where that will happen. Over the years, Stripe has raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and its valuation has skyrocketed to $95 billion. Now, as it inches closer to an IPO, there is reports that it's trying to raise yet another big round of funding. Tap to Pay accounts for roughly 54% of all Stripe terminal transactions last year, and the bigger opportunity is indeed big. Contactless transactions were collectively a $4.6 trillion business in 2022, and they are projected to be $10 trillion by the year of 2027, according to Stripe. Apple Watch is closer to a possible U.S. import ban after Biden upholds patent ruling. The administration upheld a legal ruling that says Apple Watch infringes a patent from a health tech company, AliveCor. As a result, the tech giant could face an import ban of its infringing Apple Watches, depending on how the appeals work out. Knowing Apple, they're going to buy it out. Apple, for its part, said that in December that it expects to prevail in the case because AliveCor's patent had been found invalid. It plans to appeal the ITC's decision to federal court. AliveCor said that the Biden administration decision to show the U.S. will protect important patent. Apple has a long history of fighting lawsuits over its technology. These cases include a series of patent battles with smartphone rivals such as Samsung and separately Nokia. Apple settled with Samsung in 2018 and Nokia in about 2017. Also, Apple is reportedly close to bringing a no-prick glucose monitoring to the watch. This is very important to those of you who have diabetes, pre-diabetes, or require like medication. I guess it could be used like to check your medication too if they program it right. Apple's long-running quest to bring blood glucose monitoring to the Apple Watch appears to be moving forward. Bloomberg sources claim that the company's no-prick monitoring is now at a proof of concept stage, meaning it's being tested out, and good enough that it could come to market once it's smaller. So for all we know, the watch could be like about this big, and then once it hit the market, it'll be about this big as this watch. This is the Samsung watch. For those who don't know, I don't have Apple gear except for like an Apple iPad and a Mac Mini. The technology would use laser to count glucose concentration under the skin. The system would not only help people with diabetes monitor the condition, but would also let people know, hey, you're pre-diabetic. You might want to watch out what you're eating there. The project began about 2010 when an ailing Steve Jobs headed accompanied by blood glucose monitoring startup Rarelight. Any real-world product is likely years away, according to Bloomberg. The industry also doesn't have a great track record of bringing no-prick monitoring to the market. Google's parent company, Alphabet, ended up scrapping their plan in 2018 when they attempted to track glucose using tears. This is for all my satellite fans out there, people who love having satellite in remote location. Dish Network, if you couldn't use your apps or call or like try to pay your bills or anything. Dish Network suffered a multi-day customer service and website outage. For a few days, an internal system issue left many of the services and website operated by the satellite television provider and Sling TV owner, Dish Network, inaccessible. The outage started on Thursday morning when Dish Network customers began reporting a host of issues. Some customers couldn't access their IPTV, which is Internet Protocol television services, such as watch ESPN with their Dish Network account, while others couldn't log into the website to pay their TV bill and, well, subsequently their phone bill because they own Boost Mobile. I think it was Boost Mobile. There have been conflicting reports about the cause of the outage. When the company's problem began on Thursday, the desk reported they were not the result of a cybersecurity incident. However, on early Saturday morning, Bleeping Computer said the outage was likely due to a ransomware attack. Dish wouldn't comment if the outage was due to a ransomware attack, but it said it hoped to share more information soon. So keep a lookout for more information if you're a Dish Network customer. Everybody's trying to get a hold of me today. Nintendo confirmed it will not be at the E3 Entertainment Expo in 2023. Nintendo has decided not to take part in this year's E3. They have cited we approach our involvement in any event on a case-by-case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plan, we have made the decision not to participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA Entertainment Software Association and E3. So earlier this month, IGN reported that Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony had all bowed out of the E3 this year. Sony hasn't had a presence in the event since 2018, but neither it nor Microsoft have confirmed plans for this year's edition. Microsoft will host its big annual showcase in Los Angeles this summer. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer recently hinted it will take place around the same time as the E3, which will run between June 13th and 16th. Meanwhile, word on the street is that PlayStation is planning a major showcase ahead of E3 this week. So State of Play stream. The absence of just one of the big three console manufacturers from E3 is kind of a blow for the ESA, let alone all of them. Summer Game Fest is kind of threatening to take more and more of their vendors from the event each year. But on the plus side, Ubisoft will still be there. Next up, we were talking about PlayStation earlier. Well, Sony Ericsson is planning to lay off 8,500 workers as part of its cost-cutting plan. Swedish telecom company Ericsson will lay off 8,500 workers as part of its cost-cutting measures, which the company confirmed to CNBC on Friday. It'll affect roughly about 8% of their workforce of 105,529 workers worldwide. Spokesperson said most of the layoff will take place in the first half of 2023, but it could also extend into 2024, which is a 1-year gap. The company is seeking to cut. Welcome to World Josh Briggs. The company is seeking cost reduction at a run rate of 9 billion Swedish kroner, or known at about roughly $860 million by the end of 2023. Ericsson said it's expected to start seeing the effect of its cost saving quote in the second quarter of this year. So that's actually not bad. Not bad they're saving money so they can keep bringing us products, but not so good because people are losing their job. Samsung has targeted satellite-enabled smartphone chips after a surprise iPhone 14 feature that was announced just recently. The new modem technology from Samsung will enable two-way messaging as well as sharing of images and videos. Samsung plans to include the technology in its Exynos mobile processors, hinting it may bring the system to its Galaxy smartphones. This comes after Apple launched its iPhone 14 with a feature that lets users alert emergency services via satellite. So the way how the iPhone is set is you can send a message out via satellite and say, hey, I'm stuck here, I need help, please send somebody. But here's the problem: you won't be able to receive anything. So you can send out, but you won't receive it. Samsung launched its flagship Galaxy S23 phone just recently. As a matter of fact, they just finished the pre-order, I think 2 weeks ago. Ranging this month, but it will not have the satellite connectivity. Next up, MediaTek. This is continuing on the satellite communication. MediaTek is set to unveil its own phone-to-phone satellite communication system next week. MediaTek is set to demonstrate its new technology that can put two-way satellite communication on smartphones at this year's Mobile World Congress, which will take place from February 27th to March 2nd. So that's this week. Yeah, what's going on? The company's response to Qualcomm and Apple's satellite technology is a standalone chip that can be added to any 4G or 5G smartphone. MediaTek is teaming up with a company called Bullitt, Bullitt, to use Ladder's Satellite Connect service and to enable the satellite messaging features on the aforementioned Motorola devices. The Motorola Divide 2 smartphone and the Divide Bluetooth accessories will be released in the second quarter of the year across North America, Latin America, and Canada, and will be the first device to offer MediaTek's satellite capability. Next up, back to Google. Google just can't catch a break. Department of Justice, that's right, the U.S. Department of Justice, is accusing Google of deleting chat evidences for its antitrust lawsuit. The Department of Justice is accusing Google of routinely destroying internal messaging chat histories, which the company is required to preserve under federal rules for an antitrust lawsuit. Google is faced with not just one, but a couple antitrust lawsuits filed by the DOJ and a group of states. In the DOJ's filing, it said the company's employees typically use their internal chat room, which was set to delete the chat history every 24 hours to discuss substantive and sensitive business. Google reportedly told the government that he had already put a legal hold in place to suspend auto deletion on its chat tool. It's now asking the court to rule that Google had violated a federal rule and to order a hearing that would determine how the company would be sanctioned. Google, however, denies the Department of Justice allegation. Lordstown Motors freezes production to address quality issues. Yes, we're talking about the company that Amazon had invested in. Lordstown Motors' problems aren't over just because it's manufacturing electric pickup trucks. The fledgling brand is pausing production and customers' delivery to help it tackle performance and quality issues with some component in the endurance trucks. The recall will currently affect about 19 vehicles already on the road, some of which were already in use at Lordstown Motors. The company didn't offer an estimate as to when the production will resume, but it claimed it's making significant progress on the components and subsystem issues holding up the manufacturing. The freeze is tiny in comparison to it, compared to issues that its rivals like Tesla, which has recalled hundreds of thousands of cars, if frequently for a software-related issue. Lordstown hasn't made any pickups so far. It only delivered the first truck from its initial 500-unit wave in November and said last year that it only expects to sell 3,000 endurance trucks through the 2023 year. The halt and recall are proportionately huge. GM sold its stakes in late 2021, just a few months after Lowtown warned it didn't have enough money to make a signature truck. Yeah, that's about it. If there's anything you want to see on this show, like any news topic you want me to cover, or if you just want to come on and chat and say hi or give me a video feedback, I have put my Discord server in the description down below. I'm also on another Discord server that I quite frequent. I'll put that down below as well. So there'll be my Discord server and another Discord server. Also, I am working on getting my website online. I am building it's more of a community blogging site where you can come in. If let's say you want to cover a topic, you can go in there, type up your story, publish it, and it'll be open to anybody. Who knows, you might even get lucky to have it published here. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to next week in review when we learn more about what's going on at MWC.